Over the past 5-ish videos, I've been building a Power BI based forecast process for a fake construction company. The idea is that we'll have a Power BI front end that will then be writing back to a Microsoft Fabric data warehouse using user data functions or translytical task flows, which are a preview feature on Microsoft Fabric. Hi, my name's Ned. This little guy right here is my dog Jai. And in this video, we're going to be writing the functionality that will allow a user to delete a previously saved forecast or budget out of our data warehouse using Power BI. So like it'll click a button and the record will go away. Now in the previous video, you've seen us write a requirements document. You've seen us do a mock-up. You've seen me, and I keep on saying us, but you've seen me build out the core Power BI semantic model in the data warehouse using Direct Lake. And then over the past two videos, you've seen me write the read write functionality between Microsoft Fabric and Microsoft Power BI. So I've done that via a stored procedure on the Fabric data warehouse that's being called via the Python user data function. And that combination of functionality with Power BI executing it is the translytical task flow. So in just a second, we're going to get into the actual meat of that coding of that delete functionality, which is our final piece of Python we need to write before we actually start building our Power BI report. But first, one, if you want to watch any of the earlier videos in this series, they're down below in the video description. And then two, if you're enjoying this content, please consider subscribing and liking this video. It means a lot, and we're currently working on my current goal of getting this channel to 5,000 subscribers. So if you want to subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. All right, let's start coding. So the code that we're going to write here is really pretty simple. We're essentially going to reuse this exact same functionality right here. Only instead of executing the stored procedure, we're going to execute a delete statement. So I'm going to rename this right here to delete budget, right? We're still going to pass it the warehouse, but instead what we're going to pass it is we're going to pass it a budget ID as an integer right here. And we'll delete pretty much all of these. We'll still need our warehouse connection. Then we'll have our cursor. We'll still log, hey, I connected to the SQL warehouse, but then we'll go through and we'll replace this with a delete from, and we'll go and we'll grab our table right here. Boom, boom, boom. Where, and we'll go and we'll look at what we called it. I think, in fact, budget, if we expand over here, it's budget ID. All right, so we'll go budget ID equals, and then we'll pass it our budget ID right here via a question mark. And we don't need this in a block quote because this is just like a single line of SQL. So we'll get rid of that. Oh, and I'm getting a little error right there. Then, and we'll get out of that. Then we'll go through and we no longer have this data. So we'll just simply replace this with budget ID. Then we'll execute, close. We'll make sure to commit this time. Our SQL warehouse will close. And then right here, we're going to go and we'll retitle this to selected budget deleted. So let's test this out. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit publish. And then while this is loading, we're going to go back into this and we're going to run a select statement. Now, if we are looking at this table, once this is loaded, what you will see is that we have a ton of different budgets through here, right? Where budget ID equals 1. Now, I actually just realized, so what I just realized was it doesn't really make any sense to delete this records out of this table. This table's already pretty much a type 2 or a slowly changing dimensional table. All that's missing is a update record time. So what I'm probably going to do, and not in this video, because I want this video to be a little bit shorter, but what I'm going to go do is I'm going to go add a column in the next video into that budget fact table that's called update record date time, which will essentially have a update stamp. And then for this video, instead of actually executing a SQL delete statement, we're going to execute a SQL update statement. And instead of deleting out the record, we're just going to set the record to not active, right? So when it says is current value, we're just, well, yeah, we're gonna just execute an update statement. And then in the next video, we're gonna go back and we're gonna refactor our code a little bit to include a watermark, which is 100% something I should have put in the initial design. And that is why I am a business intelligence developer and not a software engineer. But all right, let me go fix that. So all we did in this video, and sorry, I'm looking down my computer screen, is we then just simply change this away from a delete statement to update construction, update our table, set is current value equal to no, where budget ID is the value. So all I did is I changed this from a delete to an update statement. And now when I run this, right, so I ran this for 1. If we go over and we look, there is a budget ID with a is current value equal to Y. So when I run this, just ran this, so it should have updated that to not equal. So now we'll run through this and we'll query this table one more time. And there we go. If we look at budget ID, it's now set equal to an N. So what does that mean? Well, that means in our Microsoft Power BI report, we're going to have a filter on this table that's going to say, hey, I don't want to see any records where is current value is equal to N, and we'll be able to remove it to the report. What is the refactoring that I want to do in the next video now? So this will actually not be my last SQL video, because we're going to have to add some columns here to our fact budget, and then we're going to have to edit this delete statement and edit our SQL stored procedure. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add 3 more columns under this table. So I'm going to add a start record valid date, and then an end record valid date, and then an is current row indicator. So that way this is a full type 2 table, because I already pretty much have type 2 table I already pretty much have type 2 table functionality here, but what I'm just missing is the watermarks. I'm missing those date timestamps, the is current record row indicator. So this should be a pretty easy piece of code to refactor. I'll try to do that tomorrow and hopefully give you guys an update. So if you enjoyed this video and you enjoy seeing me struggle and you enjoy the thought process, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving this video a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Bye.